laptop is going crazy. Let's refresh and see. Oh my god, yay! Crumble, we did it! 100,000 people! See, thank you! I have 100,000 subscribers. Me, little old me. That is something that other people do, not something that I ever thought that I would achieve, but thank you. Actually, something really exciting has just arrived in the post, and I didn't expect it to actually be this quick, but I have got my 100,000 subscriber plaque. I have never seen one in person, and I never expected that I would actually have one for myself, but I'm going to stick this all the way where I said I would, over there next to the reptile rack in the pet room. And just thank you for being one of the 100,000 people that has subscribed and made this happen. So this is not going to be much of a monthly vlog, more so just an update because I do have a lot of things to update you on. And I also just tested positive for COVID, so I can't really go anywhere. I don't really feel like doing anything. If my voice sounds different, that is why, but I just sort of give you an update on every single one of the pets to kind of fill some time. And the first one, of course, is Bagel, because I did promise that I would give you guys an update in the next month's vlog, which is this one. So Bagel is doing really good. The solution we thought would be best for him is to try him with females, and that is what Lynn tried first. So she tried him with a group of females and he was fine. He didn't attack them and he wasn't hurting them, but he was quite a lot bigger than them because they are females, and he was quite a big male rat, so that didn't really work because they were intimidated by his size and they just wouldn't accept him. So she moved on to plan B, which was to put him with an older male rat, and he did get on okay with Crumble, but if Crumble had passed away at any minute, I would have then been left with a single rat that I couldn't put with any of my other rats. So Lynn will always have a cycle of older rats that she can try to put him with, and that seems to work best for him. So he is now living with an older rat called Horatio, and they're in a little pair together. So that's the update on Bagel. He's doing really well, all things considered. He's living really nicely with this older rat, and they're just a little pair of old men together. So he's doing really well. I don't know what will happen for him in the future, but as of right now, he's doing really good with his little friend, and I hope you guys have been looking forward to this update. But he's doing okay. This is probably going to be my last update on Bagel because he is not my rat anymore. So that is your Bagel update. So continuing with the rat updates, the next update is on Twix. Twix would have been 2 years old next month on the 11th of March, and unfortunately he did not make it to see his second birthday. He was going downhill over the past couple of weeks, just kind of sleeping more. He was always quite a skinny, frail rat, but he was losing a bit of weight. And one day I came in and he was quite puffed up and uncomfortable, and I checked him over. Something just told me to look in his mouth, and this is something I've not seen before in rats, or in my rats at least. I checked in his mouth, and his whole tongue and the inside of his mouth was very, very swollen and purple, like it was getting no circulation to it. And it was so swollen that I was worried it was going to block his airway. So I rushed him into the vets. I took him to the vets, and we decided, based on his overall condition and the fact that his mouth was swelling quite rapidly, to let him go and have him put to sleep. So that was all quite sudden. I didn't really have time to take any nice pictures or videos and last clips of him because it was all very sudden and unexpected. So that's the update on Twix. He is unfortunately no longer with us, and it was quite a whole situation that was quite unexpected. So that's your update when it comes to Twix. What I think probably happened with Twix, and I don't have any definitive answers because the vets I use, the local vets, I just use them for my cat and also for euthanasia because they're not the best with small animals. I can use them for basic things, but I didn't really get much more than 2 words out of the vet when I went there to have him looked over and put to sleep. I did mention I thought maybe it was a cardiac issue, but I didn't really get much of a response, so I'm just guessing based on my own guessing ability that it was a cardiac issue. Maybe his heart was failing or had failed, and that was causing poor circulation, but I don't really know exactly what happened. I just know that he was quite uncomfortable and we had to let him go. So it is sad, it is really sad. Not affecting me as much as other rats I have a closer bond with, because Twix was always quite aloof and didn't really like people, but I still loved him, I still cared about him, and it is a shame that he had to pass away before I made his 2nd birthday. But Whisper, his brother, I'll give you an update on him because they are the same age and they are from the same litter too. So Whisper is the same age as Twix, same litter, same genetics, and when his brother passed away I was quite worried that he might start declining at a similar rate, but so far he's doing good. He's still full of energy, no health issues I can see, so I am fairly confident that he will reach his 2nd birthday. Of course he is starting to slow down and he is an old rat, and anything beyond 2 is a bonus because he is a rescue, but so far he's doing good. There's nothing that I'm worried about and I'm really happy with that. Then of course moving on to Crumble, King Crumble. He is now 2 years and 4 months old, and I have started to see some age-related health issues that I was starting to get a bit worried about, and I've been trying for weeks to get a urine sample off him to test his urine, and he would just not pee. I tried absolutely everything, and the other day I finally got a sample, so I used my at-home urine test kit, and it did come back that he had protein and also blood in his pee, so I booked him a vet appointment and took him to the vets. I was also worried about his heart as well as his kidneys just because of his age, so I wanted to get all of that checked over just in case there was anything we could do to kind of slow down the process. So my vet is great. I did show her the urine test and she does reckon because of the blood in the pee that it's more likely that it's a UTI rather than anything else, so he is on antibiotics to treat that. And he has also started heart failure medication because she did notice he had a slight blue tinge in the nails on his back feet, and I've noticed a few things over the past couple of weeks. He is getting a lot more tired after he moves around and slight subtle signs, so he is probably going to be on heart failure medication for the rest of his life, a couple medications once a day, twice a day for the foreseeable, just to hopefully slow down that whole process. But I do actually have to test his urine again just to make sure the antibiotics have cleared up his UTI, and the way I do this is just use at-home human urine tests and look at the protein section and also the blood section and put him into a clear carrier with no bedding on the bottom to collect his pee and just wait a very long time for him to actually pee. So that's why he's in this carrier at the moment. Then of course we have Pudding. Not too much to update you because he is just an all-round good boy and he is definitely the biggest rat I've ever had. I weighed him the other day and he is now over 700 grams, so he is massive. So this is where the babies are at the moment. They're currently in my office in a temporary cage. This is just a 3rd class fur rat. And there they are. Hey Polo. So having them in here has been a bit challenging because they are incredibly distracting. When I'm sat here trying to pack your orders, they will just sit here and stare at me because they want attention. So I've not been getting much work done over the past couple of weeks, but that's okay because you're cute. We'll let you off, huh? But I will be glad to have this space back because this is where I usually put all of the orders I packed. I stack them before I take them to the post office, and we don't have much space, so I'll be glad to have this space back when the temporary cage is gone and they're in with the big boys. But you're doing good, aren't you? You are getting massive. I think he's going to be a very, very big rat, and you have changed a lot too. You're looking like a right proper Siamese now. So yeah, that is where they have been over the past couple of weeks, just in their temporary cage while they get a bit bigger until they can meet the big boys, which is going to happen very, very soon. So this will no longer be here, but this is where they've been kind of staying until they can go into the pet room and into the big rat cage. The mice are all doing good. They're all now over a year old, and not too much to update you on most of them, but Fleet is coming up on his 2nd birthday, and I've definitely noticed that he is slowing down. All of my pets are starting to get old and it makes me really sad, but he is starting to slow down a bit. And I did notice when I was checking them all over and handling him the other day that he does feel a bit more frail and a bit thinner than the other mice, which is not surprising because the girls are huge and it seemed to take all of the food. So I have been taking him out separately and giving him extra feedings just to try to keep a bit of weight on him, but he is now a frail old man and they all seem to really care and take care of him. They all groom him and care for him, so he's in good hands, but he is looking a bit old and frail and he's going to be 2 years old. So all of my rats and mice seem to just be aging and they're all in their old stage, and it's really sad, but he's doing okay. He's just a frail old little man. So in terms of Orbit, she has been in her new enclosure for a couple of months now, and it's not really been what I expected or maybe hoped for, because she's always been a bit more of a shy gecko. Who is scratching? Crumble? Crumble, shush. Thank you. She has always been a bit more of a shy gecko, but she would always be out basking under her deep peat projector. I would see her in the daytime out basking. In the nighttime she'd be sat on her hides and stuff, but ever since adding the UVB and the LED for the plants, obviously it is on a cycle that mimics the daylight, and it does go off at nighttime about 4-5 o'clock-ish, but ever since adding that, which of course is very, very beneficial, I do not see her out during the daytime. She's not sat under the UVB, under her deep peat projector, so if any other reptile or leopard gecko owners could weigh in on this one, I would really appreciate it, because I feel like she's just not benefiting from the UVB. If she's just hiding from it all day until it turns off, she does definitely come out at night time, because the evidence is there, she poops all over her background, but I don't see her in the daytime anymore. She's not out basking, and I feel like it is a shame that she's not utilising all of the stuff that I've bought to actually enrich her life. She's not really using it, so please leave any suggestions. It is the correct height away from her basking spot and the enclosure, but I feel bad she's not out in the daytime enjoying herself as much as she used to. The animal that's living in this enclosure, I promise I'll have a video on very, very soon. I did have to leave them a while to settle in, and then when I was ready to film a video, I had no voice, so I couldn't do that, but in the next couple of weeks, I promise I will make this a priority and introduce you to them. I am obsessed. I cannot believe that I've got one of my dream pets right here, but I cannot wait for you to meet them, so that will be coming very, very soon, I promise. Hubble here is doing good. The other day he met a dog for the first time. Well, not technically for the first time, because he was raised by German Shepherds and Chihuahuas, but my friend brought her dog because he's a really good boy. He's really old, he's a poodle mix, and he lives with cats, so he's not going to bother Hubble, and we thought it'd be a really good idea to just see how he reacts and get him kind of used to the idea of a dog being in the house, because we are potentially going to have a dog by the end of this year, so he is going to have a massive reality check and get used to having a dog around. But he did really good. I think he was very interested and really curious about the dog, so he did really good. I thought he would hide and be scared, but he wasn't too bad. He was very interested in following the dog around, so that was really funny. But he's mostly a good boy. He did knock about 3 drinking glasses all over the bedroom floor yesterday, and there was glass everywhere, so kind of a good boy, kind of not, but he's doing good, aren't you, bud? Ready? Get it. Good boy. Okay, so I'm doing things a bit different today. In my past couple of introductions, I have skipped the neutral space method and just gone straight to the carrier method, just because all I had to do that was my bathtub, and the babies would jump out, they would all be jumping out of the bath, they wouldn't be anywhere near each other, and it was kind of pointless. But now I've got an ensuite shower, and it's relatively small, it's not too big, so I think this will work. I could again just skip straight to doing the carrier method, but I do like to do this when I can, just to see them mingle and see how they react to each other before putting them all together in a carrier. So I'm going to do this and we'll see how it goes. First though, I am trimming some nails because I forgot to do that, and some of them are incredibly sharp. So just to prevent anyone getting scratched, if they do start fighting or anything, we're going to trim a couple of the sharp ones. You're done. Let's see your nails. Oh, very nice. You keep yours nice and short, don't you, bud? Nice and short. Okay, none for you. Good boy. Right, in you get then. Babies, let's look at your nails. Are they sharp? I did only do yours the other day. Oh, they are a bit sharp. We'll just do them quickly, okay? boy. Can I see your nails? Can I see your nails? Give me your foot. Give me your foot. Good boy. Good boy. All done. All done. Ready? You're gonna go meet the big boys. Are you ready? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Be brave, okay? Be nice. Everyone be nice, okay? Good boys. Anticlimactic. You all did so well. Into the carrier then. In we get. In you get. Good boys. You're putting yourself in. And drown. Come on. In we get. Are we in? Mind your feet. Mind your feet, mind your feet, mind your feet. Good boys. Hey. Whisper. Whisper. Chill. Whisper. Whisper. No. Whisper. Come on. Off. Okay, I didn't film anything because I left my camera downstairs, but they're doing really good and they're now in this stage and they seem to really like the babies. Pudding especially has been extra cuddly to them, which is good, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, so it's the next day now and everyone is doing fine, although I did notice that Crumpet has a tiny bite mark on his back. He is probably not going to let me show you, but it's like the tiniest thing, and I didn't hear anything in the night. I wasn't woken up by any fights or anything, and you can't even barely see it. So although everyone is acting fine with each other, it does mean they are going to have to stay in this stage a bit longer just to make sure there's no more fights or injuries or anything. So sorry boys, I'll check back later. Okay, so it's the next day again and they're finally ready to move on to the next step, which is this cage. This is a bigger jump. And this is where I usually start to see issues, if there's going to be any, just because they have a lot more space. So hopefully that is not the case and things continue to go really good. And this can be the easiest intros I've ever done. But this is where I tend to see issues starting to come out, if they start to have fights and stuff. This is the cage where that happens. So I'm going to keep a close eye on them. But hopefully, touch wood, don't want to jinx it, this can be the easiest intros that I've had to do in a long while. Hello, you're being so good. Would you like a hammock? I've got a brand new one you can have. Because you're being so good. 1 second then. You, Mr. Escapee. Get back in. So the whole process of intros to get them to this stage took about a week. It probably could have been a lot quicker, but I got really ill in the middle and I couldn't really do too much in terms of transforming this cage, but I just got to a point with them where honestly I knew they were going to be fine, so I put a bunch of stuff in for them. You just get a feeling sometimes when you've done this many intros that they're going to be fine, there's not going to be any issues, so I did go ahead and just give them a cage setup. It is still very, very basic, but in a couple of days when I've got back from where I need to go, I am going to give them the whole of the rat cage. So they're doing good. I'm not worried at all at this stage that anything is going to go wrong. But can we just appreciate Polo right now? Polo. So yeah, that is how their intros have gone, and Pudding especially is obsessed with the baby, so I could not be happier. So I think I'm going to end this video here. I think you've heard enough of my congested voice for one video, but thank you guys so much for watching. Also thank you to my channel members, of course. I had a really good time right before I got ill doing a channel member live stream playing with the baby rats, which was really fun. So thank you as always for your support. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!